Hi guys, welcome to another Learn Electronics Repair video. And this is a bit of a skip diving special. So I went to the flea market, the car boot at the weekend, and there was absolutely nothing there. I didn't buy anything. And then this morning I was just taking some rubbish up to one of the skips in the van. And there was a guy there dumping some computers and monitors, so I asked him if I could have them, and he said, "Yeah, sure, take them away." You know, he was going to put them. He was just going to go to the skip. So I've got like 3 computers and a few monitors. I think like 5 or 6 monitors actually. So let's have a look, see if I got anything worthwhile. I mean, at the end of the day, it can always go back in the skip, yeah. So let's have a quick look, see what I got, and actually was it worth taking off the guy for nothing. So this is the first of the machines. It's a compact AMD Athlon X264 Windows Vista machine. I don't know if it's complete or not, but this is what we have. I suspect there's probably no. Oh, I was going to say I suspect there's probably no hard drive in, and there is a hard drive in, but there's no RAM. There is a CPU. Let's have a look. I mean, it seems like a fairly complete machine, so let's see if this thing's actually working or not. I've no idea why this stuff was going in the skip. I suspect because there's no use for machines like this really anymore, and it's not really old enough to be any use for retro gaming, I don't think, and it's not new enough to run a modern operating system, so that's probably why they go in the skip. But let me have a quick look. Let's just see out of interest. I mean, did I get anything for nothing? Yeah. Of course, we'll start with the usual thing, which is there any short circuits on the 12 volts. And if there isn't, I might be tempted just to try it. Oh, I can see straight away there's some bad capacitors on here. So this is a good reason why this went into the skip. A whole load of bad capacitors. There's no short there. I mean, this machine... well, it's obviously been switched on before with the bad capacitors, so I might as well switch it on and just see what it does. We'd have to have a look to see if it's actually worth repairing this. That's the obvious problem. I can't say anything else particularly. But you can clearly see these capacitors are no good. So there they all are on the V-core. So if this does power up, which it might do, I suspect it would be unstable and would be crashing. Anyway, you know, it owes me absolutely nothing, so I'm not particularly worried what might happen. So let's just plug it in and let's see what it does. It has a little bleeper down here, so we should get some sound out of this. So yeah, so we can switch it on, so nothing went bang. Oh, it's switched on, and it bleeped once, twice. Okay, this is bleeping at me like to say it's got no RAM. So it did power up even with all those bad capacitors. So let's just grab a bit of RAM, probably DDR2 or 3, I'm not sure. Let's grab some RAM, let's see what this takes, and then let's see what it does. Okay, it does take DDR2, and it won't boot up. It comes up with some code on here, 40 or 40 or something. Almost certainly due to these bad capacitors in this one. It's an Asus motherboard, M2N68LA. I mean, we could have a look to see if this is actually even worth repairing. Let's have a quick look on eBay. I'm on eBay. This is the sold listing. So, I mean, one did sell just recently with the processor and 4 gig of RAM for £25. But considering the work that's required on this, it probably isn't, in this case, actually worth repairing. Probably worth more to me just for the MOSFETs and things that are on it. So I think I'll just strip any useful parts off this and then it can go in the bin. But we might as well have a quick look to see what hard drive and what CPU we actually have on this. I've taken the motherboard out of the machine, so we can have a look to see which CPU it is. I think somebody was asking me for one of these CPUs the other day for something, probably retro gaming machine himself. So yeah. It's there. Let's get a little bit of kitchen roll. Let's have a see what we've actually got here. I'm assuming the CPU is good. It's just that it wouldn't boot up with all these trash capacitors. Okay, so AMD Athlon 64X2, that number 805000. I can never tell what speed these are by looking at them. I mean, why can't they just mark them like Intel so you know how fast they are? I mean, how difficult's that? Yeah, AMD, how difficult would that be? Yeah. So, I mean, it's almost like they don't want you to know how fast they are or slow they are. Okay, well, the CPU, I'll just keep hold of that. I've got a stash of CPUs of different sorts. Could be useful one day. So this, I'm just going to see if I find the useful bits off. You take the bits off, and then what's left will be in the bin. Yeah. And then we have, okay, so it was actually a 500 gig hard drive, which is half useful. You know, I use these often on the test rig, just putting Windows 10 on for testing things with, and also for just backups of the YouTube channel. I've fit quite a few videos on one of these and just keep them as a backup. I like to keep 2 backups of every video. Okay, so that's what we got out of that, and for nothing, I mean, I've got that and I'm happy enough. Yeah, let's see what else we got. So this is a Dell machine. It's got a reader in it. It's got a CD-ROM in, one of the slim ones. Optiplex 760. I think that's kind of like LJ 775, like a dual core or something. All together with tape, yeah. So this stuff off it. Let's see what we've got here in this one. So, well, first of all, we have a graphics card rattling around. What's this thing? Got PCI graphics card. Just a, oh yeah, what is that thing? HD 4350. Shame these things weren't AGP. I know some of these, I think the 4s were made in AGP. I know they're worth a lot of money for the retro gamers, but that's what's in it. Maybe working. We have a bit of plastic. We have, yeah, one of them. And we don't have a hard drive in this one, but we do have some RAM in this one. So again, I think we'll where's the 12 volts come on this thing? Oh, down here. Yeah, they've hidden the 12 volts connected down here. This thing come out easily as well. I mean, a little card reader could be quite a handy little thing. Yeah, I can get to the 12 volts. I can get to it. So let's see if this one's got any shorts on it, and if it hasn't, let's power this up. I've known some of these little Dell power supplies to explode quite spectacularly. But usually the bits don't come out of them, yeah. Just the noise and the flash. So, ground. Nah, there's no short circuit there. We have a low resistance though. I'm not sure about that. It's like, is that like the resistance of the core? You know, like the CPU resistance, like for instance, if there was a high side MOSFET short. I think what I'll do is with this, let's get this thing out so I can get the connector off and see whether that resistance is coming from the power supply or from the motherboard. So far, I couldn't figure out how to get this thing out. These things are like a Chinese puzzle sometimes to actually get things out of them. But I've got the like the heat sink, which I've managed to lift up. It's not a beefy heat sink actually. Useful for something maybe. Let's see which CPU's in this. I can take the CPU out then and see if the resistance on there changes. So it's a Core 2 Duo. Which one? Well, actually it's that one, yeah. So Core 2 Duo, 3.08 gigahertz. Yeah, E8400. So that's what's in it. Let's just lift this out. I never see the same resistance. It's just internal on the power supply. So let's go to the 12 volts again. The meter where you can actually see it. There it is. Without it falling into the CPU socket. Dafter things have happened, yeah. No, still, I've taken the CPU out and this is still reading like 25 ohms. So whatever I could see before wasn't a short to the V core on here, yeah. So let's just put the CPU back in. And that resistance shouldn't change, because there should be no connection for 12 volts to here, apart from when the MOSFETs are switching in the VRM. So we can just go again. Let's have a quick look. No, yeah, it's reading about the same. I think it's meters. I need some new meter probes, but it's reading about the same. So that resistance appears probably to be internal on the power supply, and it's probably okay. So I think what we'll do with this is we'll just put the this thing back on for a moment. Well, let's just power it up and see what it does. Let's put the best thing with this. I could put the current limit actually on this, because the power supply is reading a bit of a strange resistance. But if it's got PFC, it effectively won't power up. But let's have a go. Okay, so the light bulb's under there, and I've just switched it in so that when I put the power on this, effectively the mains coming into this will be coming via that light bulb. So if there is something short in this power supply, what's going to happen is the light bulb's just going to come on bright. What I suspect probably will happen is the light bulb will flash and continue to flash, and that's because this probably got PFC in its power factor correction, and that's what tends to happen when you connect it to the light bulb. But let's have a look. No, it just took. Oh yeah. See, it ain't flash. Yeah, so there's no short. The PFC just doesn't like it. So let's switch it on without the light bulb and see what it does. And it's trying to power up. It is powering up. Is this thing going to give us a picture? It's got onboard video. Well, let's have a look. I'm not sure if the RAM is in the right places. Well, I'll just try it. But I'll probably just switch this off again and switch it back on with the actual monitor attached to it. So let's just switch it off. Where's the RAM? Let's have a quick look. So this is DIM 0, 1, 2 and 3. I suspect probably that it should be in the first one and the third one. But let's have a look. So we'll power it back up again. We'll switch it on. So this is with the monitor already attached. So nothing's happening. I don't get a blue light, so it's not going to give me a picture anyway. Power it back off again. Let's try and move this RAM from the second position to the third position. And I could obviously, look for the instruction manual, but that'd be too easy. Yeah, that'd be too easy. So let's take this RAM out of here. Let's stick it into this one. Let's see. No, this one. Stick it into here. Just a little bit fiddly. Yeah, I can't see because of the wire. Yeah. Okay, so let's stick this into here. If it wants to go into here. Yeah, it's in. So we'll put in the first and the third one. Yeah. Let's see if it likes that. So we're getting power on. A little clicky noise. It starts up on its own. That probably means that. And then the fan slows down. And what happens? It went off, guys. It came on and went off. Starts again. This time, yes, and now it's working. So we actually have a BIOS screen on this one. Yeah, I was just saying motherboard, keyboard not found, blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. So it looks like this is actually a working machine that just basically needed the RAM seated in the right place, basically. Okay, so we have one there, but is it really a result? Do we actually have anything that's actually worth any money here? Well, we know what the CPU is, and I'm sure that isn't of any great value. The RAM is DDR2, a couple of 1 gig strips, and that's not of any particular value. And the motherboard, I suspect, is probably not of any particular value. But it's quite likely the only thing that you're worth anything is a power supply. card reader. Maybe the little, this might be useful to have. This might be useful to have. What I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to take this down to the second-hand market. I'm going to take this off because I want this. Because I haven't got any of these. Not spare ones, anyway. I'm going to take this down to the second-hand market, as it is, working. And I'm going to give it to one of the guys who I often buy computers off and say, you can have it, mate, it's working, free. And just give it to him for nothing, yeah? And I think then, kind of like the next time I come and buy something from him, I'm going to get a better price. Yeah, get myself a tenner off or something. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm just going to give that, as it is, to one of the traders on the second-hand market when I go on Sunday. What do you think, guys? Think that's a good plan? Yeah, a bit of psychology in there, yeah? But I think that is probably the most profitable thing I can do with this. So now we have one of these quite probably working. One of these, I wouldn't be surprised if it's working. And a plan that's so cunning you put a tail on it and call it a weasel. Yeah, I stole that, by the way. Okay, so we've gained a few more bits there. Let's see what else we got. So this is the last of the computers. This is Medion. Sometimes these have gigabyte motherboards in them. Core i7. Yeah, it's a Core i7. And I suspect it's a very early, probably a first generation, because it's Windows 7 machine. Doesn't have a Windows 7 license on it. That's handy. Oh, it does. So on the back of this also is actually like a license, yeah. Windows 7 Home Premium. So I keep these working licenses because you can upgrade them to Windows 10, yeah. Got to be worth having that. So we got a license number, so we get the photograph of that one and put into my gallery. This looks like the shroud. You've seen that fan I use when I'm working on BGAs or soldering, yeah, this thing that I use to blow the solder fumes away from me. Well, you can see where that came from now. It came off one of these or something very similar to one of these. No RAM, no hard drive, just a motherboard with a shroud. Yeah, you can get to the 12 volts. Let's see if there's any shorts on this one. It's got a bleeper on, and if there isn't, and I'm just looking at all the capacitors. The capacitors look okay down in this one. Something loose. Things rattling around the side of this thing. Yeah, okay. Look for shorts. If there isn't any, let's power it up and let's see if we get any bleeps out of it. So, ohms again. The 12 volts on this one is hidden down here behind the shroud, but I can get to it. Let's see what we've got. So 12 volts. And that's, yeah, it's quite, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. So let's, yeah, shall we see what this one does? No onboard video on this, and clearly the video card's been taken out of it. Oh! I was going to say, I wonder if this was out of it, but no, because this is low profile. Which actually means this actually might actually have a slight value to it. HD 4350 with low profile. We need to look at that. So it needs a graphics card, it needs RAM. But let's see what it actually does. So well, we won't put that in, obviously. Unless it's got HDMI. No. Okay. So we'll stick some power into this one. And let's see what this one actually does. So power in, power on, switcher on, and let's see what it does. Nothing. Obviously. Oh, it bleeps. Okay, so this thing bleeps, so it's got a CPU in there. So what we'll do is, I'm guessing this is DDR2 again. Look at that bloke. We'll stick some RAM in, and then let's find an old graphics card and see if it works. I've put a graphics card in that I know is a good one, and I've stuck, this is DDR3, so I've put a couple of strips of DDR3. I think they're in the right slots. So let's switch this on, and oh, it powers on. Oh, and it bleeps. So it still doesn't want to work. So let's take this apart and let's see what's happening with this motherboard. One thing I've noticed as I'm taking this apart is that the power supply has a 20-way ATX or 24-way socket. I mean, whether or not that's supposed to work, I don't know, because I've never tried it. Yeah, I mean, I suspect the voltage on the end ones are just the same as the voltage on some other pins, so maybe it would just work. They're probably all connected together on the board, but I don't really see why you would do that. I mean, just stick the power supply with a 24-way connector. Yeah, I mean, how difficult can that be? Yeah, I have this connected to a known good power supply now, so we'll just switch that on. It starts by itself and it bleeps continually. Yeah. First thing, I guess, is just check a CMOS battery. I'm pretty sure this is absolutely dead, which is why it's just coming on by itself. That's very common. So we just, yeah, it's less than 3 volts. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll put a new one in there. Just find some batteries. One out of my stash of batteries. So we've got a battery in there. See now if it does the same thing. So power on, and you see it doesn't just come on its own. No. Push the start button. Now, but it still bleeps. So that didn't make any difference. Let's put the post analyzer on here, and I'll just arrange it where you can see it. Now let's see what it's doing. So I've got a post analyzer in there. Switch it on. Yeah, it came back on by itself again. And stops with 8080. And we can switch it off with a button. And we can start it again with a button. Oh, but this time 2727, so a different code. So I can switch it off again by holding the button in for a while. So it's failing at different points. One of my suspicions with this is there's probably some bad capacitors on the V-core, but they look okay. But the fact these type of capacitors look okay doesn't necessarily mean that they are okay. And it's one of these things that's difficult to prove whether or not that is the problem. But we might be able to take some off that other one which we're going to bin. Although I think it was all the low voltage ones on that were bad anyway. Yeah, this is one of these fun ones. See, that time it switched on by itself, and then we got the C0 again. Let's try it without any RAM, and let's see if we get the same code. So take the RAM out, and I've knocked the camera over. That should be an outtake. So we can see the analyzer card. Power it on. It's kind of like it. Oh. What the? That's also like there's a bad connection in the slot. And doesn't want to do anything. This does look very dusty actually. Okay, so without any RAM in, we just get a continuous bleep and a kind of a random, almost random code on the analyzer. With some RAM in, and I probably ought to check which ones, but hopefully it'll work with just one strip. Oh yeah, now it counts up and gets this E0. I wonder, first of all, is this now stabilised since I slotted it in several times? Yeah, now it's kind of doing the same thing over and over again. That's a good sign. I wonder if this continuous noise is this BIOS having all the unusual way of telling us that there's something wrong, like the GPU isn't in, or that it doesn't like the RAM configuration. So let's put another RAM in, and again I'll just kind of like seat it several times. Yeah. No, so that made no difference, and without checking, but it's either going to be those two or these two. They marked in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. So we can try this. Yeah. Same thing. So It either doesn't like this RAM or it doesn't like something. Got a couple more. These are DDR3s, big chunky ones. Just try a couple of these. Yeah. And I think we'll go with this and this. Otherwise, I'll end up looking up in the manual, of course. RTFM, yeah, read the FE manual. Okay, I think we can say it's not bitching about the RAM. Probably. Is he bitching about the lack of a GPU? Is that what it's bitching about? Is bitching a bad word? No, see, that makes no difference either. Of course, it's now awkward to get this damn thing out. Is that a bad word as well? You know I never swear on this channel. Okay. I know this graphics card's good. Stick a monitor on the end of it as well. No. Okay, let's have a look. First of all, see if we make any sense out of this code E0. What's it trying to tell us? It's definitely now failing on the same code. Onboard floppy controller, or initialized chipset, depending on the kind of, you know, the type of BIOS, basically. Oh, I see. Oh, E0. The onboard floppy controller is available as initialized. Next, begin the base 512K memory test. Oh, that's interesting. I think I need to just check what's the correct memory configuration for this motherboard. After a bit of messing about and trying different combinations, I eventually tried with 2 strips of RAM in the blue slots, and this is actually booting up. So we have that. So I'm just going to try attaching that 500 gig hard drive we had off the other machine, and let's see if this will boot into an operating system, if there is a working OS on that hard drive, and if it will actually boot from this board. If that's working, let's try the graphics card we took out of the other one as well. Okay guys, so you can see it's working. It booted Windows off the hard drive, so the hard drive is good as well, the 500 gig. There's obviously a lot of stuff on here. I'll just format this and then use it just for storing files or something like that. Yeah, so that's good, and that's the graphics card that I took out of the Dell machine, the little low profile one, the HD3450. So that's all good. So let's have a look to see what else we got out of this batch of stuff for nothing. So we have a working motherboard and processor here. I'll have a look to see which processor it is in a moment. But I also have this amongst the box of stuff. Rock solid heart touching. I haven't seen that for a long time. It says something like S video card for Bar's computer. Okay. I don't think this actually contains what it says on the box. I think this might be like what came out of the computer. It's a big box. Oh, and that's what's actually in it. And it doesn't fit in the box. So that's what we've actually got. So it's not a what it says on here. Yeah, 2600 Pro. It's actually a 8800 GS. Another old GPU. Let's see if this works. Throw caution to the wind. Let's just plug it in and have a look, see if it's actually doing anything. Let's find a 6-way connector. That was the side off one of the old computers falling over, yeah. As happens. Okay, let's see what this is doing. So we'll connect the thing up. Let's see if it actually switches on with this fitted. Everything plugged in. Yeah, it's all plugged in. Connect the little switch, eh? Connect the little switch to the thing. Oh no, it doesn't. Ah! Aha! I was just testing something for somebody in the meantime. So, Let's plug the power lead in. Now we might have something. Power's on, and it spins. Yeah, it's all spinning. And it goes off again. I had it doing this with the other board, to be quite honest. I think the second time we started it booted up with the other GPU in it. Yeah, stayed this booted. Oh, we have a picture. We have a picture coming on the screen. So it looks like this GPU is also a good one for nothing. Not that it's worth a great deal, but it was for nothing. So let's let this boot up and see what we have. That's working then. So I'm in Windows 10. I've just got well, make the window a little bit bigger. You can actually see what I've got. So it's an i7 860 CPU, 4 gig of RAM fitted, and that's working. I've installed the drivers for the graphics card, the 8800GS, which went okay. And you can see there it's installed, it's fine. So that's the last of the computer hardware, but I have a few monitors as well and a couple of small TVs, I think. So let's have a look at the rest of the stuff that was going to go in the skip. So here's the first of them. I've just plugged it into the test rig because this has VGA output, and neither of the graphics cards we were just looking at do have. And these are VGA monitors, or certainly this one is. So this is 4:3 ratio monitor working. I just plugged it in. About the only use for these things really these days is for Windows 98 and older retro gaming PCs, where you have games that were designed to run in 4:3 rather than 16:9. It's been nice for that. The 19-inch ones are quite handy. If you don't want to have a large CRT monitor on your desk, when you take a lot of space up, sure, some people want the authentic experience on a CRT, but if you don't want these 4:3 flat panels, it's quite handy for that. So that's one of them. Let's have a look at the other ones. Here's another one of them. This has speakers built in. This is a 17-inch, I think. The other one was actually a 17. We can just check. The 19-inch ones are probably worth keeping for retro gaming rigs. The 17, and see if you have a lot of these around. Just measure it. Yeah, that's a 17-inch. This one has the power supply missing. I don't have a suitable power supply for it, and in all honesty, I don't think it's actually worth bothering with. So the one we were just looking at that was working in this one, I'll just take them down to the car boot and give them to one of the dealers down there. If you can get anything for them, he's welcome to them for free. I'll say it gets me in there good books for things that I do want to buy. And another one, this one also working. This is a 19-inch, and this I will keep hold of. I'm putting together at least one more retro gaming rig anyway for 98 Windows 95, so I'm sure this will get used on that. If I do find the 19-inch ones, I tend to keep them. It's a little bit of it's not a mark or a scratch on the screen, it's just a little bit of, it's coming off, yeah, it's just a little bit of dirt what's cleaning off. So it wasn't clean, but this one I think is actually worth keeping, so that'll stay in my stock. Just going to the lockup for now, and it's there when I get another retro rig put together. And here's the last of the monitors. This one is a 16:9 Packard Bell 23-inch. It's missing its stand, but I could wall mount this. I'll keep hold of this one, probably put this in the workshop. I've got one of those kind of like dual mounting monitor brackets that somebody gave me, and I can probably put this and one of my other monitors onto it. So yeah, that I will definitely keep hold of for free. I think that was worth having. This one's VGA and DVI, so it's a little bit more recent as well. This is actually the bracket I was just mentioning. This somebody gave me this a couple of months ago, I think, and asked me if I wanted it. So it's effectively a mount for two monitors to put them side by side. You can see the thing there. So I gladly had it off them. I haven't found a use for it yet, but probably this monitor plus one of my other, maybe even the one that's on the wall there, might actually go together on that, and I'm sure I'll find some use for that in the workshop, or even at home for the video editing system for YouTube. This is the first of the two TVs. It has a VGA connection, so I've actually connected the VGA to it. It is a TV working, but it isn't a high definition TV. There's no HDMI on it, so although I can use it as a monitor, I have no particular use for this, so this will just go down to the car boot. But what I do have, I'll just unplug, I'll just show you, is I have this, which I think I'll just keep hold of this. This is a 12 volt 5 amp power supply, which is quite a handy thing to have. And this is the last of the TVs. This one is a 16.9, but it has a scratch on the screen. Again, it doesn't have HDMI on it. It does have a built-in DVD player, and it has a power supply with something rattling around inside it. Another 12 volt 5 amp power supply, or 12 volt 6 amp actually. 20. Oh, interesting. It's saying 24 volt 5 amp and various outputs at 6 amp. Oh, I see. This has like a little selector on it. Oh yeah, the switch. Okay, I think that might be fun to try and repair that. Yeah, let's see if we can fix that just for the hell of it on another video. But the TV is of no use to me. This can just go down the car boot cell again, just give it to one of the guys if he wants it, otherwise you can just put it in the bin. Okay guys, so that's basically the end of what I found for nothing. So here's a quick resume then of what we have that was worth anything out of what we got here. The i7 860 is worth about £25, just looking at sold ones. And the motherboard is worth sort of 20 to 25 as well. So I think we can probably say we got £45 worth there. The graphics card, another 5, that's 50. This one a little bit more, about 15, that's £65. The little AMD 64X2 5000, about £5, but I think a friend asked me if I got one of these, so if he wants he can have that for free. So we have then this of no particular value, but it's just useful when you need one to replace a faulty one if it's working, so I'll keep hold of that. We have the I/O shield for the motherboard. The hard drive, not of any worth of a value to sell, but I'll use this as a test drive. I'll probably just use it for testing graphics cards and such like until such point I corrupt it with the Windows that's on there at the moment, and then I'll format it and put another one on. The 5 amp power supply has got to be worth keeping hold of, just useful for that. And this one, the switchable one, has got to be worth having a look at just to see what's rattling around in this and see if it's something we can fix. Yeah, that'll be just worth making a video. So I've got about £65 worth of stuff, plus the 19-inch 4.3 monitor, which is nice for a retro gaming rig I'll keep, and the 23-inch monitor as well, which is a DVI and VGA. That's going to get used around the workshop. So it's got to have been worth it for what I got out of that batch, and it was a fun video to make. So hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I'll see you all soon, very soon in fact, on another one. Ciao for now guys.